Few countries in the world are considered more vulnerable to the impact of rising sea levels and climate change than Bangladesh, a nation of 175 million people squeezed into a landmass the size of Iowa. In partnership with the Pulitzer Center, Fred de Sam Lazaro traveled to Bangladesh to look at efforts to build resilience in the face of escalating consequences.
It is the most crowded space in the most crowded city on Earth by some rankings. Tens of thousands who live in this slum settlement of Korail are so-called climate refugees, whose previous homes were on land that no longer exists.
Our house was taken away by the river.
65-year-old Jahanara, she uses only one name, moved here some 2 decades ago. Her family's home was lost, like tens of thousands of others over the years, to erosion or were on land swallowed by a rising sea. Jahanara scrapes by, earning $2 to $3 a day, cleaning houses and selling scrap.
I have lived a very difficult life. I have worked hard. I still work hard.
With 3 major rivers and hundreds of tributaries, most swollen by rising seas and melting Himalayan glaciers, no part of this low-lying country, coastal or inland, is spared.
I'm standing on an embankment along the Padma River. It feels nice and solid, but until about 4 days ago, it stretched out further for another quarter mile or so. All of a sudden, it simply sank into the river, taking with it several homes and a few shops. And the people here say it all happened in about 15 minutes.
I was at my father-in-law's house when I got a phone call.
Arif Madbur lost his family home.
When I arrived, I saw that many houses had gone under the river. Our house had also been destroyed.
Now we are destitute.
Parvaz Hussain owned a grocery shop here.
The first thing we need now is a sustainable embankment so people like us have a livelihood in the future.
For now, sandbags are all that's available to retain what land is left. Many families will likely join informal communities like this one just up the river on a stretch of public land.
No one gave us this land. We were helpless. So we found this land and built a house here.
Rushia Begum arrived here last year, escaping erosion that has displaced her 3 times before, she says, most recently sweeping away her land and most of her livestock.
Our lives have been filled with hardship. We cannot even afford sandals.
The communities have learned to accept the realities because they don't have the luxury of time. It will be rising like so.
Environmental scientist Atiq Rahman agrees with estimates that by 2050, Bangladesh will lose 17% of its territory due to rising sea levels, including 30% of its agricultural land. He says Bangladeshis are slowly finding ways to adapt.
You can do intellectual adaptation, you can do physical adaptation, you can do agricultural adaptation, you can do water-based adaptation, all that.
I was very fortunate to have a family boat that took me to schools, but not everyone.
So you went on a boat to school?
Right, during the monsoon.
Monsoon floods routinely keep children out of school, says architect Mohammed Rezwan. His solution was to bring school to the boat. In 2002, he designed and launched the first flat-bottom boats to serve as primary schools. Today, the fleet has expanded to more than 100 boats, serving across a swath of northwest Bangladesh, not just as schoolrooms, but also as libraries, clinics, playgrounds, and training centers.
We are trying to develop people's skills towards resilience. It has high windows to let light and air in. So we train on sustainable, effective, and climate-friendly farming techniques, focusing more on traditional knowledge of climate adaptations.
We visited this training session teaching women organic, low-cost methods to protect their crops from pests.
I get a good result using this trap to protect my eggplant field. Flooding actually damages our crops, but the vegetables that we grow around our home, we can actually get good production.
Garden vegetables provide much-needed nutrition, and Rizwan's non-government group has encouraged people to try new ideas, like fish farms and raising ducks on the river. However, the bedrock of this country's food security is rice. Even though it naturally thrives in water, it too is susceptible to climate change. Floods can wipe out a harvest, or a crop may not survive in soil that's become salinized with seawater. We visited this seed bank run by BRAC, the world's largest non-government organization, which began in Bangladesh. Scientists here are developing hardier varieties of rice and other seeds.
Flood resistance are available. Some are drought tolerant, saline.
Many of these farmers can only grow that kind of rice in parts of the country because the soil has become so soggy with seawater.
Correct. Soggy, yes.
We have to come up with solutions that are scalable and then figure out where the funding comes from later on.
BRAC CEO Asif Saleh says funding to scale projects has not materialized despite commitments from rich countries primarily responsible for climate change.
Local organizations are probably getting about 4 to 6% of the funding that is coming in. They have billions of dollars, but their bureaucratic processes make it impossible. If you record all the promises that have been made over the last few years, calculate that, and look at how much money has gone to the ground, it's laughable.
That criticism of hollow promises echoes as well in Bangladesh's largest industry, textile and garment making, in which the country ranks second only to China's in size.
So this factory emit almost 40% less carbon emission.
David Hasanat's 4 factories are among 258 that have earned the global LEED certification for being energy efficient, using renewables and recycling wherever possible. But Hasanat says there's no incentive for him or any other factory owners to follow suit.
Do your brands, do your customers reward you for being energy efficient, for being environmentally sensitive?
Answer is no. Definitely. They
you don't get paid anymore?
No.
Most fashion brands and retailers may publicly proclaim their eco-consciousness, he says, but share none of the cost of adaptation. Meanwhile, those most vulnerable must temper their expectations as they try to adapt.
The one good thing is we are living on dry land, for now.
Down even to what passes for dry land these days, and how long Rushia Begum can remain on it. She'd just been served an eviction notice from the Bangladesh Bridge Authority. The land is needed for a Chinese engineering company, pushing her once again to the edge of despair.
If you don't allow me to stay, then I'll have to move. Or, if you want to throw us into the water, you can throw our life into the water.
By 2050, it's estimated that climate change will displace another 20 million people in this country. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Fred Desam Lazaro in the village of Alam Karkandi, Bangladesh.
And Fred's reporting is a partnership with the Undertold Stories Project at the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota.